Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Minister for Commerce and Industry, is here. Can we all give him a standing ovation, everyone? Thank you, sir, for taking time out for this event. Before we move further, we have a short video for you. You would be interested to know that DPIIT has collaborated with MasterChef India for the upcoming season, spotlighting GI tag products, showcasing the unique flavors and culinary traditions of different Indian regions. This initiative aims to enhance the brand value of GIs, increase consumer awareness, and inspire audiences to explore India's rich culinary diversity through innovative dishes crafted by master chefs and contestants. May I have the video, please?
ये है वो मास्टर शेफ जिन्होंने दुनिया को कई मास्टरपीस रेसिपीज दी हैं।
GI India and MasterChef का एक यूनिक इनिशिएटिव।
GI इंडिया के जोन में आपको मिलेंगे भारत के कोने-कोने से लाए हुए चुनिंदा GI टैग प्रोडक्ट्स जैसे कि स्पाइसेस, ग्रेन्स, टी, कॉफी, वेजिटेबल्स और फ्रूट्स। GI एक कम्युनिटी राइट है जो एक प्रोडक्ट की ज्योग्राफिकल कैरेक्टरिस्टिक और स्पेशल क्वालिटी को सेलिब्रेट करती है और उन्हें ग्लोबल रिकॉग्निशन देती है। मट्ट राइस जो मुख्य रूप से केरला के पालक्काड जिले में पाया जाता है, ये अपने खास अर्दी स्वाद, लाल भूरी बारीक लेयर और फर्म टेक्सचर के लिए जानी जाती है। गोवन कैजूज, गोवा कैजूज अपने नटी फ्लेवर, रिच अरोमा और सुपीरियर टेक्सचर के लिए जाने जाते हैं। कोडाईकनाल हिल गार्लिक, ये तमिलनाडु के कोडाईकनाल हिल्स में उगाया जाने वाला एक यूनिक वैरायटी का लेसन है। मिथिला मखाना, जिसकी खेती उत्तर बिहार के 21 जिलों में फैली हुई है। ये रिच इन एंटीऑक्सीडेंट्स है जो प्रिवेंट करते हैं कैंसर, सीरियस हार्ट डिजीज एंड ब्लड शुगर लेवल्स को स्टेबलाइज करने में आपकी हेल्प करता है।
मास्टरशेफ इंडिया।
Now I would like to invite the Minister and our Group Editorial Director, Mr. Rachangappa, to come on stage, please. Raj, over to you now.
Ladies and gentlemen, delighted to welcome the chief guest, Mr. Piyush Goyal, India's Union Minister for Commerce and Industry. May I add, one of India's most dynamic ministers. Please give him a very, very warm round of applause. As we all know that Mr. Piyush Goyal has been a leader whose vision and dedication have been instrumental in shaping India's economic and trade policies. He has been driving initiatives that have significantly enhanced India's global trade. He also has championed policies to boost exports, streamline logistics, and attract foreign investments. And I think you've become also an extremely popular politician. I had the privilege to cover his elections in Mumbai North, and it was delightful, that particular experience, the way you interacted and connected with the people. And of course, he won, I think, with the highest amount of votes in Mumbai, 3 point in Maharashtra itself. So very warm round of applause. And very appropriately, he has been, Mr. Goyal's leadership has resulted in India taking very bold steps on the GI front. We have noticed that in the last decade or so, there has been an acceleration of the GI tags in India. We are now close to 653 in the last 10 years or so. That has doubled, as we have seen. And what we are looking from you, Mr. Goyal, this time is some of the things that you feel, the challenges that we have, the opportunities we have, and how do you see the roadmap ahead in terms of promoting GI? We were talking offline, but some of the issues that you think are critical.
Thank you very much, Raj. First of all, I must express my sincerest appreciation for this initiative that India Today has taken along with our Patents Office and Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Otherwise, this is a subject which is quite drab. It's a very unordinary subject. You know, people are not very excited about.
The word GI tag, yes.
Yeah, I think I'm really amazed that India Today took it upon itself to take this message to the people of India.
Thank you.
How important it is to protect and preserve your heritage, your traditions, your customs, the offerings that India have on so many different food products, so many of our artisans, handicrafts, handloom products, textile products. There's so much and more that we have to offer. Somewhere along the line, post-independence, for many years, we did not focus on this subject. Mr. Modi came in 2014 and recognizing the importance of the entire patent and copyrights and trademarks and GI, this intellectual property ecosystem, he's really given it a thrust like never before.
Right.
You rightly mentioned that almost from 200 to 650 plus 3 times in a short span of 10 years. I'll give you another interesting statistic. The number of authorized users for GI tags in 2014 was only 365, the number of days in a year.
Right.
And today, the number of authorized users has gone up to 29,000. Just imagine the transformation in this field. If you look at patents, in 2014, in a year, we used to grant 6,000 patents. Last year, we granted 1 lakh patents.
Wow.
That's the growth story of India. And now, increasingly, innovation is coming into the mindset and the way of working in India. You know that the government has come out with a Anusandhan NRF, a 50,000 crore rupee fund that the government will
Research
give
and development, yes.
to promote partnership between academia, between private industry and government.
Right.
And fund R&D, fund innovation. All of this ecosystem is today necessary if India has to become a developed nation, a Viksit Bharat, by 2047. No country in the world has become prosperous unless it reinvented itself, unless it reinvigorated its own story.
Right.
You might have heard Prime Minister Modi often say, Vikas bhi, virasat bhi.
right.
And if विकास करना है और विकसित भारत बनना है, तो अपनी विरासत को भी, अपने ट्रेडिशन को भी संभाल के रखना पड़े. और वो आज काम इंडिया टुडे ने समागम, GI समागम के माध्यम से किया है. And we have very ambitious plans going forward. While I was having a cup of coffee with you before we came into this room, I threw a number to my office and to my team.
Yes.
That our aspiration should be that in these next 5 years,
Right.
can we take the story of GI to every state and union territory?
Right.
Can we take it to every district in this country? Because there are hidden gems, hidden jewels in the remotest parts of India. Every tribe, every Adivasi Kshetra, every Vanvasi Kshetra would have some or the other thing to offer for GI recognition and registration. So we've set a target. I can say it happened in front of you.
Yes.
So
You say the number.
Now we have a target that we should have 10,000 GI registrations.
And that figure comes because China has about 9,800. And the minister said, if they've got that much, how come we are not there? Let's.
So do I have everybody's approval? So now I can report back on file that this number of 10,000 came after extensive stakeholder consultation. Because the stakeholders are all here.
Yes.
You are the witness. And we stand committed to make it happen. So by tomorrow, the department will be notifying a committee
Wonderful.
which will oversee this effort to go to an element to a 10,000 number by 2030. And we will take this story in conjunction with state governments, district collectors, various bodies like Spices Board, Tobacco Board, APIDA, MPIDA. We have various organizations, Handicrafts Commissioner, Handloom Commissioner, Textile Committee. It will be a whole of government approach, taking this message to the whole of the nation. And that is Mr. Modi's style of working. He never thinks small.
Right.
He never aims small. And he always overachieves.
And we're very glad to hear that, because right through the day, Minister, we've been having various people come forward with issues that they think are important in terms of our geographical indicator of progress. And among them, just to talk about it, early in the morning we were discussing, we had somewhat of a first revolution in terms of the fact that the cottage industries came up here. We have it in, in the heart of Delhi, and also various states were represented. Do you think now the time has come for a second revolution, which you mentioned, where every state has its own sort of setup where it can promote all these traditional industries, particularly the GI tag, and popularize it in a way that it becomes a second revolution in terms of the way we promote our products?
I think it's something we can do. I don't know if your participants got a chance to go and see the ODOP Experiential Center. It's right next door. We have a PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan in which we develop infrastructure through that program using space technology, and we have an ODOP, One District, One Product initiative, in which across the country we have identified what products define every district. For example, Moradabad brassware. Now, Moradabad is known for its brassware not only in India, across the world.
Right.
You can go anywhere in the world, you will find it. Look at Madras lungi. I don't know if it has a GI tag.
Right.
Though that tag would probably come more in the United States, where it was originally.
In fact, I was suggesting in the morning when we lit the lamp, that is a unique Indian thing when we do.
You said Madras lungi only?
No, not the Madras lungi.
I have now become a mind reader.
No, I was talking about the fact that when we lit the lamp in the morning to inaugurate it, that's a very unique tradition.
This self-tradition could be probably GI tag. I don't know. I'm not an expert. We let the.
I think we are the only country that actually does that. To do
but well, the technical teams have to.
No. I mean, that's the side.
But the idea is that if all of us take interest in this subject, then this committee which is going to be formed tomorrow with people who have interest in this subject will take this message across the length and breadth of India. I will look upon your support, Raj, now as a part of our team.
Yes.
We've
learned a lot. We've learned a lot on
help us. No, I'm indeed grateful to you, personally grateful for taking up this initiative and for kind of encouraging us also in our journey to promote GI.
In fact, we learned a lot, to be quite honest, in terms of the kind of range of products that we have. We didn't know that it existed. One of the things, Minister, that came up during our discussions over here was that while our system for legal system and all is quite robust, two things are there. One, in terms of enforcement, where there's a lot of counterfeit and misuse of GI tags. And the second aspect was in terms of promoting these products. Beyond what the artisan or the producers are doing, how do we take it to a different level?
What we can do possibly is, I think we have a government e-marketplace that is completely in our control. There we will have a separate section for GI products and encourage government departments. Wherever they are, suppose they are buying a carpet, whether they could take a GI designed carpet, if there is something like that. If they are buying some decorative piece, if they could, while they are already taking only one district, one product
Right.
items. They can add another layer of GI on that. That, okay, I will take a ODOP product. Within that, we'll prefer a GI product. Our embassies all over the world will start
Right.
now promoting, along with ODOP, GI products. I'll talk to Dr. Jaishankar as soon as he's back. Similarly, I'll talk to some of the national platforms, the e-commerce platforms. And even within ONDC, we will have a separate section promoting GI products. Let us also ask this committee that we are forming tomorrow to apply their mind and come up with more and more suggestions on how this can become something that we can create an awareness for GI products, and we can start promoting in people's lives and create a respect and a value proposition for having a GI tag.
And since you mentioned e-commerce in some senses, the fact that a lot of private companies are here, e-commerce these days, we don't go out and shop, we sort of purchase it out. How much can you, in terms of the government, get the e-commerce people to feature these GI products, popularize it? Of course, the government needs to do the promotional part of it. Is that a way to make it available easily across the country?
I cannot make it mandatory, but I can certainly call them and try to persuade them. And I'm sure they'll be happy to promote such a wonderful thing like traditional Indian strength and Indian items. Also, we have a GI symbol, a mark.
Right.
I think we need to popularize that mark a little more. So we'll look at the committee coming up with some recommendations on branding.
Yes.
And I will talk to FSSAI and BIS and see how we can get this GI mark put into all the products which are being marketed, and whether we can have a simplified mechanism for people to, the authorized or the genuine people,
Right.
to get a hologram mark or something which can ensure that counterfeit is separated from the genuine stuff. So it's a good outcome of today's Samagam,
Right.
that branding, commercial utilization
Correct.
of GI products, how we can further innovate
Right.
on GI products and its uses, potential uses. Can we look at further R&D?
Right.
Or can we look at any ways to preserve these GI products? Very often, for lack of adequate commercial market,
Right.
we also lose out on preserving our GI strengths. So I think this is this kind of awakening.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to get a wake-up call. So I
Right.
look at the GI Samagam organized by India Today and DPIIT with CGPDTM today as a wake-up call.
That's right.
And I'll have a special session in my office to see what next steps need to be done to take this to the length and breadth of the country.
Yes, I think that's truly welcome, as we can see the response you're getting. One of the things that was also mentioned was the fact that there should be somewhat of, I mean, it's become a cliche, but a whole of government approach, because this spans various ministries. One of them is tourism. And, can you start bringing them into the position? The others, of course, are great marriage industry where we always give gifts. Is there a possibility of, promoting that? So some of the things that you think you can involve other ministries to get in, because otherwise it becomes just the DPI, IIT, which does a lot of enforcement and regulations, but in terms of promotion it requires
that's also good, useful inputs for us to consider. And whether it's marriage gifting, whether it's our international embassies,
Right.
displaying, we already display ODOP products. I'll talk to all the ME officials to see if we can have GI products also being given that similar respect, where we can showcase some products every few days,
Right.
every few weeks. And it is not to say that things are not already happening.
Correct.
What we are discussing is how to fast track it.
Exactly.
For example, what we just saw, the teaser on MasterChef.
Right.
I think that's a brilliant initiative by the department.
Yes.
It's a collaboration to try and promote GI products, the unique flavors, the culinary traditions of India, showcasing that and promoting that on television, on other mass media. We can. I'm also given to understand that Shekhar Kapoor
Right.
is making a film called
Yes.
Roots.
I think we're going to see a bit of that after this.
Yeah, it'll be a documentary which will pass through the journey that we have of India, the journey of India, and through that journey he'll discover the rich heritage
Right.
that we have to offer. So I think there's a lot happening, but as I said, lots more we can do.
Right.
And I can assure you that once Prime Minister Modi's government takes up a subject, there's never ever a looking back. And it's always a whole of the government approach.
And I think the other aspect of it, like we saw in G20, and you, of course, were master of ceremonies, especially in this place, we saw the fact that a lot of the events were being held across various cities and states to showcase them. Now, in terms of state involvement, one is, of course, the whole of government and other ministries. How can we get, you do have this one district, one product. How can we take it to the next level in terms of promotion of the state GIs? Because they are big stakeholders on this, and where can we move on that front? We have, of course, the example of Meghalaya, which we discussed.
Several states are taking it seriously. For example, UP is taking GI very seriously.
Right, we had the Kashi thing, yes.
Kashi has become the hub of GI
We
products.
did a
almost.
full session on the Kashi model.
Oh, did
here.
you?
Yes.
I see.
Yes, we
So,
did that.
well,
right.
we have some very good models. Maharashtra takes its preservation of heritage and GI products very seriously. We met a professor who was probably part
Yes.
of your program today, who's done some wonderful work
He's here somewhere.
in Maharashtra.
And we have Mr. GI here also, Rajnikant.
Who himself is. But then look at who is the biggest brand ambassador of GIs. Anybody has any clue? हर मन की बात में कोई ना कोई एक प्रोडक्ट आपको देखने को मिलेगा जिस पे प्रधानमंत्री जी कुछ ना कुछ बताते हैं. If you look back, Araku coffee.
Right.
He talked about it in one of his Man Ki Baats. The virgin coconut oil from Andaman was also highlighted in a Man Ki Baat. The silk, Eri silk or Tasar silk, I've seen featuring in Man Ki Baat. केसर के ऊपर भी मुझे जहाँ तक याद है saffron. There was a mention in one of his Man Ki Baat about saffron from
Right.
Kashmir. So Prime Minister is very focused, very conscious about the strengths of GI products. Otherwise, you wouldn't have seen this 3x jump.
That's right.
And why today I could take the bold target of 10,000? Because now we have tried and tested that there is an interest for these products.
Yes.
We have the blessings and the guidance from Prime Minister Modi to promote this further. And on top of that, we now have 1,000 people more that the Honorable Prime Minister has sanctioned for this department. Earlier it was always a short-staffed department.
Yes. Superb.
1,000 people increase in one department in the government is like historical. In a patents office, copyrights, patents, trademarks, GI, this office is going to see 1,000 people, of which 500 odd people we have already hired. And in the next year or two, another 500 will come in. So now we'll have the people strength. We have equipped them with most modern technology. A new building has been made ready where they will be working.
Wonderful.
Everything is being moved online. Of course, GI is very voluminous.
Right.
It will take a little longer to make it also fully online, but patents, trademarks, designs, everything is online. Copyrights, everything is online. So there's no human interface. Nobody has to come to any CGPDTM office. Everything is done through video conference or online submissions in a time-bound manner. And the world today is waking up to a modern, very efficient patents office or design and copyright office. Similarly, we are trying to create more awareness that people should get their products certified and get their patents in their control, because that is a huge value proposition.
Right.
And with the speed with which things are happening there, more and more people are encouraged to come. We are continuously simplifying the process of getting approval and simplifying the process of maintaining your GI tag or maintaining your patent, maintaining your trademark. All of these processes are being made simple. Startups are given a significant discount in anything in the CGPTDM, I think 80% discount for startups. Women entrepreneurs are given a 80% discount. MSME sector is given a discount. So we are trying to encourage more and more people to engage with this office and get recognition for the good work that they are doing.
One of the things you've mentioned is now you've pushed the target, which I'm sure they will work to achieve, which is 10,000 GI tags. The other aspect of it is, how do you see this fit into our export bundle? You know, we did have traditional strengths in leather, jewelry, and other things. Do you see this in the next 5-8 years, GI products dominating the, or at least being a big share of our merchandise exports?
Initial period, this should be most appropriate in our promotion of tourism,
Right.
which is export. It's a service export.
Right.
It earns us foreign exchange. So I think the immediate thrust will be how GI can be a part of our tourism
Right.
promotion activities and tourism income. Through that, the word spreads
Right.
throughout the world about India's GI products. And then I think that will create a market for our products worldwide. I'm given to understand that there are e-commerce sites which are now increasingly looking at India's handicrafts, India's handmade products, handlooms, our specialty food products. And with that, if we can have an overlay of a GI on top of it, we could possibly start getting a greater value for GI marked products.
You were in the thick of negotiating a European free trade agreement with India. You were there last week as well, or this week, I think you just came back from there. Do you see bilateral treaties or multilateral treaties, as we are now negotiating, as an avenue to also push GI products? Make is there room for that? I was just checking.
Well, logically, since we will be getting duty-free market access in most of the products which are also covered by GI, it will certainly be a great support in promoting the export of GI products. The other important aspect that we are negotiating with many of our trade partners is the mutual recognition and respect that GI products of each other is given in our countries, and the protection of the sanctity of the GI products. So it's usually in the intellectual property chapter, GI products are often covered. In a few cases, we also are looking at separate chapters for GI products, and in I think one case also a separate agreement altogether with the EU on GI. That will be a very, very big win for India.
And do you see on the other bilateral treaties that you're negotiating, one with UK, of course, some in the Middle East that you have, in some advanced stage, is there scope there, you feel, to push our products and tourism, as you'd mentioned on this one?
I would think there is scope to push these products, and I can assure you we'll not leave any stone unturned in promoting GI products.
That's wonderful. And we just got 2-3 minutes in terms of the marketing. That's the other point that had come through, is that while, a lot of producers and all have registered their GI tags, one of the issues was that it was largely universities and other entities, not the producers themselves. So there was a demand that they should be pushed forward. That's one. And secondly, in terms of marketing and their products and help from your ministry in terms of promoting and marketing their products. Is that something that you could look at very closely? Because that was one of the suggestions that came through in our speakers.
We can leverage our contacts with industry to be able to encourage industry to market these products.
Right.
So government per se is not in the business of marketing any product.
True.
But for example, I'll surely talk to, let's say, the Tatas.
Right.
To see if the West Side stores.
Right.
Or Trent or one of those could start giving GI products a special location. We can similarly talk to all the high street Phoenix and the D-Marts and V-Marts and all of these organizations to see if, at the airports and railway stations,
Right.
prominent railway stations, if we could have an outlet for GI products. But that will be something that industry or the proponents of GI products, the holders of GI products, will have to come forward with their suggestions. This committee that will be formed tomorrow, in the terms of reference, we could add one of the items as not only increasing the registration and collecting the data of where all these hidden gems are lying, but also how we can make it an attractive commercial proposition
Right.
for people to come forth for registering their GIs.
So private sector collaboration is critical in terms of the...
And we will
development.
act as a catalyst to help that.
Okay. And the final point, I think, is sustainability. I think you touched on that, right? Which was that you have these products, but we also must ensure that they sustain, the good practices are there. What are the kind of things you think the ministry could do to ensure that sustainability?
Well, I think once you see a product acceptance go up, a market go up, then the product remains active in the market and can be sustained. Let's take the example of basmati rice. Now, basmati rice is known and recognized as India's special product coming from the
Right.
plains along the Ganga. And for lifetime, it will always have a special value in people's mind. It will always have a special market proposition and will sustain. Every foreign visitor who comes to my office at ministerial level, by and large, I judge to see what is he ordering. If he orders tea, then we offer him a box of 3 types of teas.
Darjeeling and others.
Darjeeling tea, and I think there are 2 or 3 teas
Right.
that we have in that box. If he orders coffee when he's being served,
Right.
then we offer him a box of coffees which has Araku Valley coffee.
Right.
That's the Chikmagalur and 3 different valleys coffees.
Right.
Idea being that gradually the awakening and awareness on these products can increase, and if once these products start getting a value which is more than the run-of-the-mill products, then more and more people will be interested in taking this forward. And which is why on the 5th of next month, we have called all the boards,
Okay.
tea board, coffee board, spices board, tobacco board,
Right.
MPDA, APIDA, we have called a meeting of all of them. It may possibly be held here only at the same venue or whatever appropriate venue. And there we are planning to have one of the sessions focus on these unique value propositions that India offers, and how I've asked the department to present to all these boards their responsibilities to promote GI tagged products.
We've got 8 seconds. Any final comments you'd like to make, Minister?
Well, I'm indeed grateful to all of you participants and to the India Today group for taking interest in this subject, for promoting this subject in your own territories, in your states, in your businesses, in your domain. And I am grateful to the Controller General, CGPTDM, to my department officials, to all those in this room, Mr. Sangma, Professor here, all those who have been, to Mr. Sanjay Gandhi from Tamil Nadu, all of you, and particularly the youngsters in the room who have taken interest in this subject. There's huge potential. There's huge potential in the subject of innovation. There's huge potential in the subject of trademarks, copyrights, trademarks, and designs. And there's huge potential in GI itself becoming a matter which the world will wake up and recognize India for. So let's take this up as a mission, and let's, by 2030, collectively work to have 10,000 GI registrations done. And in this journey of Amrit Kal, as we rapidly march to Viksit Bharat at 2047, let's preserve our traditions. Vikas bhi, विरासत भी। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
Wonderful. And Minister, from our side, India Today, we are committed to creating awareness as we have done in this. This is the first such Samagam. We hope many more will happen across, not just here, but across the country. Thank you very much. Mr. Piyush Goyal, let's give him a very, very warm round of applause. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Goyal, for a very candid conversation and your kind words for GI Samagam. Requesting you to just stay back for a moment. We would request you to launch the trailer of the film you mentioned earlier, titled Roots, Tracking Origins of Bharat. Yes, we are showing it. Yeah. And for many of you who might not know, the scripted documentary film is by Shekhar Kapoor on geographical indications. It's produced by DPIIT. The documentary film explores the life of two individuals who are brought together in the quest to find their roots. Through this journey, they discover the rich heritage and explore true value of these products and showcase the same to the world outside. May I have the video, please?
कभी-कभी तो आपको कहानियाँ किताबें पढ़ के मिल जाती हैं, लेकिन कभी-कभी आपको कहानियाँ खुद लिखनी पड़ती हैं। जो स्टोरीज मैं फिल्मों के जरिए आप तक लाता हूँ, उनमें कई बार ऐसा होता है कि उसके कैरेक्टर्स खुद ब खुद चलकर मुझ तक आते हैं। बड़ा मुश्किल काम है, वो अपनी मिट्टी से जुड़े।
That's certainly worth the wait. Now, Raj, may I request you to please felicitate Mr. Goyal? Ladies and gentlemen, as we conclude today's event, we invite you to indulge in a curated spread of GI-tagged delicacies, a celebration of the flavors and heritage of India right outside the hall. Thank you all for being a part of GI Samagam, a celebration of Indian products carrying the GI tag, presented by the DPIIT and India Today. We look forward to welcoming you next year. I would also like to extend my gratitude to our esteemed guests, speakers, and of course our wonderful audience for taking the time to join us today. Thank you everyone and enjoy your evening.